Hi everyone, it's Mary Street, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 4 tips on how to get out of self-doubt when reading for yourself or reading for others. So today's question comes from Cami, and she is a member of our private Facebook group, So You Think You Are Psychic, for a tarot and psychic development. If you have not joined us, I invite you to do so. And also please like and subscribe to this video, and also share it with anybody who you feel may be in the same position or have the same question. All right, so her question is, while practicing my readings, I doubt saying everything that comes to me, and sometimes I don't have anything come to me, so I just doubt myself a lot. And very honestly, that is a thing that happens quite a bit for those that are just starting out with their psychic development. So today I'm going to share again 4 tips on how to overcome that. So the first tip is a psychic journal. When I first started, I did not have a teacher. I'm self-taught, so honestly I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So what I did though is I listened to my intuition, which guided me to keep a record of what I was doing. So every day after I would read for myself or give sample readings, I would write down specific things. So first of all, I wrote down the date. I wrote down the time that I read. I wrote down, what the weather was like, because weather does affect sensitive. So it was really important for me to know, what time of day I was working at and how the weather was. I also wrote down how I was feeling. Was I in a cruddy mood? Was I in a good mood? Did I get enough sleep the night before? Again, this is our vessel from which we are working from, and so we need to be at our optimum to be able to receive and to gift messages. So also I wrote down what I was studying. So was I doing a tarot spread that day? Was I working with clairvoyance, or was I working with my clairaudience? You'll need to know what processes you were working through. And then what I did was I also started writing down as much as I could remember about what happened. Please do yourself a favor and take notes right away, either during the process or right after, because after a day or two, you're not going to remember and it's not going to be helpful at all. The key about a psychic journal is you need to be consistent. So every single time you do any sort of reading, you need to write that down. Another reason why you want to keep a psychic journal is because it shows you your strengths and your weaknesses. So for instance, I was working with a pendulum because someone said, hey, the pendulum's a great tool and you should be using it in readings. However, for me, it didn't work very well. So rather than hitting myself over the head and keep pushing, I just decided after a couple tries that it just didn't feel right to me. It didn't really jive with my energy. And so I just took that off the plate. So then it freed me up to work on things that I really enjoyed doing, like developing my psychic clairvoyance or my clairaudience, and also working with the tarot. So again, the number 1 tip is get yourself a psychic journal and start being consistent with it. A psychic journal can be anything that you like writing in. I mean, you can get yourself a fancy journal if you'd like to. However, the easiest thing I have found to use is to go to the Dollar Tree and just buy one of those spiral bound notebooks and just keep track in those. Basically on the cover, what I did was I wrote the month and I wrote the year, and then I wrote the time frame. So say I started January 1st and the book I kept until January 15th. That would be on the cover, and then I just kept those in a plastic bin. And I did that so I could refer back to it. And I did refer back to it. When students come to me and they say, Mary, I'm really having an issue because I don't think I'm getting anything, my first question to them is going to be, have you looked at your psychic journal? Because if you see something in black and white, it's tangible. Up here, it's not. So you can't just keep it in your head. You have to write it down and refer back to it every once in a while. So again, that's my first tip. The second tip is get yourself in a habit of saying, everything that you see, you feel, you taste, or any visions that come to you. Because here's the tip. You're not reading for yourself unless you're reading for somebody else. And in that, you're going to be receiving messages for them that you won't understand at all. But here's the interesting part. They will. They'll totally understand when you say, I see you carrying around a pink elephant. Okay, so perhaps this person had a pink elephant when they were little, and this is what they carried around, and they still have the pink elephant in their room, right? So again, it may not make any sense to you, but it will certainly make sense to them. So get yourself in a habit of, even though you doubt yourself, say everything you get, because it's just practice, which leads me to my next and third tip, which is take the pressure off. This is just practice. The more pressure you put on yourself, the more you're going to shut down. So it's much like going to a test. We prepare, we know everything, we're really ready to go, we've done all the pre-tests. You sit down and then all of a sudden you're like, I got to get that A, I got to get that A, and immediately you just go blank, okay? So what I've learned to do in tests is take a breath and just sit there for a moment and just let everything come flooding back to me, and then start the test. And it's very similar to that. Take the pressure off. The ego wants to be right, but in this situation, you don't need to be right. This is just practice. Remember, if you keep a psychic journal, you're going to have tangible evidence and proof, and it will show you your strengths and weaknesses and where you need to go back and develop some more. So again, take the pressure off, okay? You'll find it actually to be a much freer and funner practice for you if you do. All right, the last tip I have for you is, if you come to a space where you're just not getting anything, or you don't understand a symbol, or you don't understand something that was said to you, or you don't understand a feeling, ask the next question, which is, what does this mean? I have found that many psychics in their practice stop reading the question because they don't get an answer, or they feel they're not getting an answer, and they just kind of go, I don't know. I don't know is not good enough. In order to do this, you've got to keep asking, what does this mean? So for instance, and I know that this has been confirmed by John Edwards, because I had this happen to me. I was in a reading and someone asked me, you know, is it a boy or a girl? And I got a pink balloon. Literally, I had never seen that symbol before, so I was like stumped, like, I don't really know. I don't normally read those questions anyway, but I was given the answer. So I just was thinking, like, what is it? Oh, and then it hit me, pink balloon, hello, girl, right? But that's sometimes what happens. He'll also receive a new symbol and he won't know what to do with it. So then the next step is to ask, what does this mean? How does this pertain to the question at hand? The answer is there, but you need to continue to take the next step, which is confirm or ask, what does this mean? Okay? All right, so I hope these tips were helpful. And in summary, again, the first tip is keep a psychic journal. The second one is prompt yourself or make yourself say everything that you see, feel, know, and get. Just put it out there, okay? Again, there's no right or wrong. The next tip is take the pressure off. Enjoy the process. The more pressure you put on yourself, the more you're going to get blocked, and then you won't receive anything. And then the last tip is, if you're stuck, just ask the question, which is, what does this mean? And continue to ask that until you come to a natural stop or an end for that particular question, or the end of the reading. All right. So again, I hope this video was helpful to you. Please comment below, and if you have any other questions, I am very happy to help you, and I can help by creating a video for you that will answer your questions. So many blessings to you, and continued luck and blessings in your journey to success.